Welcome back to Legal Lines. I'm Locke Meredith. Again, have on my show Jason Hunt. He's an IT specialist, information technologies. Basically, we're talking about how you protect yourself from a security standpoint of your information or being hacked, and making sure your privacy is protected as best we can. So we talked about encryption. We talked about that you have this other type of attack, the viruses. And so you load, I guess, programs called antivirus programs. Correct. Explain to folks what all that stuff is.
Antivirus software is needed.
Well, what's a virus, first of all?
Okay, a virus, first of all, a virus is something that comes onto your machine and makes it act up or not function at all like you want it to.
So how does a virus get into your machine?
There's a few different ways. You can download an attachment through an email.
Okay.
Or you can browse a website where it has pop-ups or redirects, and you are trying to click and close those pop-ups out, and it installs a piece of spyware or adware on your machine that causes it to run very slow, causes it to function improperly, or actually overwrite some files and stop it from actually booting up and actually working.
So bottom line is, for a virus to infect your computer, you have to take an affirmative step. You have to go to a website and click something, or you have to receive an email, open it, and click an attachment. Or
insert a CD or a jump drive, a USB drive, or something into the machine.
But that would be an external act by you.
That's correct.
So it requires a reaction by you to something you receive.
That is correct.
So if you receive something, an email from somebody you don't know, or you suspect it, don't click it.
Don't click it.
Okay.
Or have virus protection that can pretty much scan that item before you click it, and usually if you have a good virus protection, it will remove that infection or that suspicious thing before you even have a chance to click on it.
Interesting. So what we're talking about is an antivirus program?
Software, yes.
Software that you buy
and install.
And so it can either preemptively eliminate the risk.
Correct.
By, I guess, destroying it somehow or identifying it for you? Is that what it does?
Quarantining is the term.
Okay. Is there a program that you can buy that if you're infected by a virus that removes it?
They claim to, but I haven't found one that works 100%.
Really?
No.
So they might be able to remove maybe some real common viruses that are old and now they've been busted.
Viruses morph and change daily. The virus protection updates that these companies that you purchase the software for will change. They are 2 days ahead of you trying to figure out the newest and latest viruses, so that you'd have to constantly keep your virus protection updated.
And I assume, once again, you get what you pay for?
Absolutely.
So you better buy the best thing you can if you want full protection.
Correct. There's a lot of free stuff out there, and it just doesn't seem to work.
And we were talking before the show that I've actually experienced here at this office what they called a ransom virus. I think that's what it's called.
That's a very ugly virus.
And thank God we had taken preemptive steps to protect ourselves.
That's correct.
But explain to folks what a ransom virus is and does.
A ransom virus is something that gets downloaded and installed on the system, the network, personal computer, or the entire network with your server, your private server, or your cloud server, as long as you're attached to it. It comes in and it takes all of your pictures, data, Word documents, emails, and it turns and encrypts it, kind of the opposite way what you were talking about earlier.
So it uses the encryption against you instead of you using encryption to protect yourself against them.
Correct.
It's reversed.
And the only way to alleviate it is to pay their ransom.
And hope they give you the key to the lock, so to speak.
That is correct. The other way is to have a fully encrypted backup that you can restore from.
All right, let's talk about that, because that's really, I guess, one of the last two ways you protect yourself from a security standpoint if you do get infected with something like that. It's the backup. So explain to folks what the backup is.
Backup is a critical part of owning a computer. A lot of people say, oh, I just use my computer for the internet and email. I don't worry about anything else. But 99% of the people store pictures, documents, things that they don't want to sit and recreate or try to find and recreate. So a backup comes into play where once a week, once a day, twice a day, once a month, you back up your entire hard drive onto an external device or to a cloud backup or something to that effect, to where if something does physically happen to that machine or you're susceptible to a virus or a ransomware or something like that, you can just not be at the mercy of that. You can just restore your information
So in
from the
essence,
backup.
it's a copy of your all the information on your computer.
That's correct.
And it's in a format, it's on a hard drive that you can just connect to a new computer or the
That's
same
correct.
computer?
Same, or after the computer has been cleaned
Right,
and
okay.
ridden of the
And
viruses.
you just throw all the information back into it.
That's correct.
Very interesting. So the final way, as I understand it, that you can protect yourself is have somebody who knows what the heck they're doing set up your computer system, put in those security devices, firewalls, all that. So how do you recommend that somebody make sure, how do you find that person?
Well, lately it seems to be a dime a dozen on this.
It does.
I mean, but I would tell you from my personal experience, you need someone with some
Because
type
you've been
of
doing
experience.
this for over 20 years, you've been
Yes.
on the ground dealing with it and seeing it morph from one thing to another.
That's correct.
So you better find somebody who knows what the heck they're doing and not just hanging a shingle out on the road
That's
or
right.
sticking a magnet on the side of their car.
That's correct.
Okay, so what about the computer device itself? Once again, I guess it's you get what you pay for.
Right.
Well, tell folks kind of what the concerns are you have these days with, being able to buy a computer for $200, at Walmart or
Right.
whatever.
It seems to be the mentality of people these days. We're a throwaway generation. We just purchase something as cheap as we possibly can, get as much use out of it, throw it away. But in the business world, it's very expensive to throw away that type of devices because all your information is sitting and residing on it. Then it has to it has to have time to transfer it all to the next computer.
It has a ton of value too.
Exactly.
If you lose it or if it shuts you down because you can't access it and you got a court case coming up in a week or whatever, I'm sure there's all kinds of scenarios where you need that. So bottom line is, you literally build computers from scratch. So you need to make sure the component parts of the computer are top quality, right?
That's correct.
But as I understand it, most of the stuff these days is coming from China or made by China.
Everything is coming from overseas.
So how do you ensure the quality of the actual hardware, so to speak, the computer itself?
Someone like myself that builds computers and has to have a reputation of building something that's going to last, there are different quality checks that you can purchase, retail parts, not OEM parts, something with a little more quality control that gives you a longer warranty with the parts. Build the computer with those parts, tend to last a lot longer.
All right, so let's talk about quickly just the computer parts then that are kind of the integral important parts. Just kind of, as I understand it, there's the motherboard. What is that, like the brain?
The motherboard is the main component. Everything gets plugged into and rides across.
Okay. And then what's another item of the computer?
The processor.
Okay, the processor, and as I understand it, those are constantly being updated and they're faster and faster and faster and smaller and smaller and smaller.
Right.
And that's allows the speed of the machine.
That's correct.
Okay, and then there's RAM. What is
There's
RAM?
RAM. RAM is an intricate part, and what people don't realize is the processor being as fast as it goes, and you have a less RAM. If they're not properly spec'd, more processor speed doesn't mean your computer is
Doesn't
going to be
make any
faster.
good. It's
You
a
could
bottleneck.
Exactly, bottleneck. You can have a processor and RAM paired properly with the right motherboard, and you can have a super fast machine.
All right, and the big debate these days, is a Mac operating system better or is Microsoft operating system better?
They each have their pros and their cons. In the business world, what we find is Macs are not compatible or 100% compatible with the business world.
Jason, thank you so much. Very much appreciated.
Good luck.
Folks, this is Locke Meredith with Legal Lines. My guest, Jason Hunt with Information Technologies and Security on Your Computer. Thank you for being with us.